Hey, what's going on? I'm ready for this one. I think this one is one of the most important videos out of this program. It's one of the most important ones because it talks about breaking things down, okay? Breaking things down into segments to make it feel realistic. So I'm just gonna dive right on into this because this is something that I was taught by a sales manager I had whenever I was an internet sales representative for a car dealership. Internet sales is something that's very difficult, especially when you're selling something that is going to be payments. And you need to break things down into segments, and you need to have a general average of, what you're working with. Because let's say your goal is to sell 15 cars a month. Well, you need to know how many people you need to speak with that are going to break down to be the average of the people you can actually sell cars to. Because if you just go talk to 15 people, you're not going to sell 15 cars. So general rule of thumb is that in the car business, due to credit, due to people saying they have money down when they don't, or due to people just not having a good trade-in, or due to people having negative equity in their product that they're trading in, that can change the average of how many people you talk to that can purchase a car. So the national average is for every 4 people that you speak to, 1 person is actually able to purchase a car due to good credit, cash down, equity in their trade-in, or at least they're not upside down in their trade. So what this means is that you're going to have to talk to about 100 people on average if you really want to sell 15 cars monthly. So I'm going to relate this to entrepreneurship or business. If you have a goal to make $100,000 a year and you just think about 100,000 and you've never done that before, it's going to be kind of difficult to do it, right? You're going to be thinking about that big number and your mind just can't wrap itself around that because you've never felt what it felt like to make 6 figures. So if you break it down into monthlies, it'd be 8333 times 12 is $100,000. So that would break it down to make it more realistic for you. Now, let's say that you're like, okay, well, that's a big number for you. Okay. Well, let's say if you're the, national average in Oklahoma, let's just say, or Texas, that means that the median household income is $50,000 for two people that are a married couple. That's a very low average, but the only reason that average is the average is because most people conform to that number. It's not because of the lack of being able to do more than that. It's just because that's what people believe is normal. So if you break the compartments of 8333 down into 4s, okay, let's just call it $2,000 per week. If you've made at least $30,000 per year, that's $2,600 to $2,800 per month roughly. So imagine making that every single week. What would you do with $2,600 every single week? How would that make you feel? How would that change your life, okay? Now, why would that be important to you? First of all, we want to declare your why when we're breaking something down into segments. Why do you want to make $2,600? Well, if you're making $2,600 monthly, this might be able to put a little bit more food on your table. This might be able to, pay some debt off that you have. Or if you had some student loans, God forbid, you could pay those off. Maybe you could get a nicer mortgage if that's your goal to have a house. Maybe you can have a nicer apartment, or you could take that boyfriend or girlfriend on that date that you want without looking at what's in your account, and you can just put it out there and you can afford it and you can get it. Or maybe it means taking care of some family members or some siblings, or just a friend that asks for money or that reach out and ask for help. So that's just 1 week. Now, what would you do if you had that times 4? How would that change your life? Would you feel happier? Now we're going into journaling. Would you feel happier? Would you feel like it would be a little bit easier to speak in confidence whenever you have a goal moving forward? Would you feel like, okay, now I can, maybe, take that trip that I used to want to take and I don't have to save for it near as long. I can do this in a couple weeks. Or maybe you feel like, okay, now I can, do something different. Maybe I can go out to eat with my friends and I don't have to worry near as much. Or maybe I can just eat the clean foods that I want to eat and I don't have to make excuses to why I don't like to eat healthy foods. I don't have to say, oh, it just tastes nasty. It's like, no, I just can't afford it. Now you can afford those foods. Now you can go to that 5-star restaurant. Now you don't have to look at the menu at prices. That's the power of breaking things down into segments. Breaking it down into little things that will benefit you from what it is that you want will help you understand what it needs to be done and what's necessary to take measure, to take action, to accomplish the goal that you want. So I want you guys to break things down into segments, okay? Break things down into segments and tell yourself, regardless of what it is. Like for me, it was financial freedom. And for me, it was like, okay, I don't want to feel like I have to go out and purchase a bunch of things in order to have something. So what I did is I became a minimalist. I make more than enough money to be financially free, as is. But what helped me to feel confident in that is I went and I got rid of the things that I didn't need, and then I raised my capital in what I could make. So therefore, I have the lifestyle now that I want. I'm financially free. I can eat whatever I want to eat. I can travel wherever I want to travel. I can go wherever I want to go. I don't have debt. And I think that that is a good way to do things if you want to break things down into segments. Break things down into segments and find out what's really truly important to you. And then from there, what's important to you, keep that. I mean, if it's truly important. And what I mean by important is you use it every other day or at least daily. And you really utilize it and you really can use it. And or pending on season, you can utilize it. Like I have coats that I kept because, it's going to get cold. But other than that, if I can't use it over and over, I don't even purchase it. Like I don't even buy too many groceries anymore. Because if I'm not going to guaranteed use them, I feel like it's not of value for me. And I feel like it's the same thing whenever you break things down into segments. If something's not important to you within the segments you broke down, now you can start eliminating what it is that's holding you back from where you want to be. If you want to make $100K a year, but you're working a job that pays you $15 an hour, well, you can't work enough hours to make $100K a year like that and actually feel like you can function. So what you'll have to do is you'll have to say, okay, here I am. I'm at $15 an hour at this job, and these are the amount of hours I'm willing to produce. Now you can say, okay, well, what if I take this money that I currently am making and I invest this money in something that will make me extra income? That's you pushing towards your 83-33 at this point. Or you can say, this is the wrong job, because truthfully, job means just over broke. Job means just over broke. Now, a lot of you might be watching this and say, well, how am I supposed to get there without a job? Well, you have to create. You see, there's certain jobs that will pay you $100K a year, but it really depends on what you want. If you want to level up to a different job that pays you that, then you have to find another skill, or you have to market yourself for another job, or you have to sell yourself to the employer that you're worth making extra. Or you can figure out what you're passionate about doing, and you can share that with people, and you can create something, and you can charge what it is that you want to charge to get you to that 83-33. There's multiple different ways to get to your goal, but I don't want you to believe that the only way to get there is by doing what other people have told you. So this is the last card in this section. Breaking things down into segments. I want you to declare your why. I want you to find your story, your purpose for what it is that you actually want and why you want it. I want you to identify what you truly want. I want you to write it down in your journal daily. Every single day, I want you to write down, or at least have a piece of paper to doodle on, just to write down what it is you want. I am going to have a good day. I am going to be successful. I am going to do what it takes every single day to accomplish my goals. And then I want you to take action on that. And as you're taking action on what it is that you're doing, what it is that you're passionate about, I want you to break it down into segments to figure out what you're doing within the things you're taking action on that are either speeding you up or slowing you down. All right, guys, go to the next section.